My name is Justice Agnes Murgor, and I am currently the president of the International Association of Women Judges Kenya Chapter. All in all, a very checkered career in the practicing world, which has spanned through the public sector, the private sector, the corporate world, and now in the Kenyan judiciary. For me, the International Association of Women Judges stands out as an association that really has a lot of importance and necessity in our societies across the world. Women judges have a huge role to play, not only within the Kenyan judiciary, but also outside of the Kenyan judiciary. And therefore, the International Women Judges Association, and in this case, the Kenyan chapter, has had a big role to play in just bringing justice closer to the people, in ensuring that, there is access to justice for both women and children across the Kenyan judiciary. So I felt it was important to be a part of this institution. I felt that being a woman judge, I have a voice that can be heard, and I can be able to play a role insofar as being able to advance the cause for the voiceless in the justice system. And the women judges in Kenya are doing a lot in that area to just expose more women to the justice system. It's true, there's a lot that stands in the way of equality in the legal field. And what you find is that there's bias in recruitment of women. The promotion policies in the workplace are always skewed in favor of one gender. There is stereotyping out there, sexual harassment, lack of mentors for women, their professions, family responsibilities come into play insofar as their advancement in their legal careers is concerned. There's unequal pay. The patriarchal system does its own part to ensure that women are not advancing in the way that they should. And then, networking for women and judges and lawyers generally is something that is only beginning to take root in the last 10 or so years. The All Boys Society, that, does so much for men and catapults them into various leadership roles, whereas for women, we don't have that many people in the leadership roles, and therefore we're not able to support women who are up and coming through the rank and file. So these are huge challenges that women face. They face them absolutely every single day. And as a result, more can be done, and more is being done in the different realms in which we find ourselves. So the women chapter in Kenya, or the judges in Kenya, have been doing a lot to be able to try and level this out. And first off, I must say that for us here in Kenya, we're extremely lucky. We are so fortunate to have a Chief Justice who is a woman. Chief Justice Martha Koome is a very progressive, a very staunch woman who has done a lot for social justice in Kenya. But because of her role as the Chief Justice in the Kenyan judiciary, it's helping to address many of the biases, the stereotypes. She's opening the doors to allow more of us, in through the door. So as far as the women judges in Kenya are concerned, that has really assisted us to a very large extent. We, as the Kenya chapter, look at our role in the association from two perspectives. Our strategic plan 2022 to 2026 has two facets to it. There is the outward-facing facet, which is the strategic plan, and then there's the inward-facing aspect, which is the institutional development role that the association plays. So from the outward perspective, we look towards partnering with like-minded associations and institutions to enable us to foster awareness, sensitization, to be able to deal with issues of sexual and gender-based violence. And in this regard, we look to partner with associations who are dealing in this area as well, to create awareness within communities. SGBV is a problem in the communities to a very large extent because there is no awareness. As women judges, we go out to do outreaches with communities, with women, with children. We attend barazas. We have open courts where we invite the public in so that we can speak to them about issues of SGBV. We work very closely with what we call our court user committees. Each court in Kenya across the country has what we call court user committees. And these committees are made up of all stakeholders in the justice field. And it includes the prosecution, the police, the prisons. It includes practitioners. And basically what we do with our CUCs is have sessions and trainings where we're able to sensitize them and just make them aware of what are the issues around SGBV, what they need to do about the matters, both from a community perspective and handling those cases in the courts. As women judges, we like to have what we are calling within our strategic plan, warm and open justice, because the courts for many years was seen as a very daunting place for women and children. They would avoid coming to court under all circumstances. Victims of SGBV would never report their cases because they felt that the courts were hostile, they would treat them badly, they were not sensitive to the trauma that they might have been going through. But as women judges, we've been working towards changing all of that, working towards ensuring that we are more trauma informed, we are more sensitive towards the victims of sexual and gender-based violence. We have children's courts that we have been able to establish, and where we have children courts, we're able to deal with some of these cases in environments where children are able to respond and are more comfortable in those environments. So women judges have also been able to establish family courts here. So that the family courts now are dealing with more family matters, succession, inheritance, and other issues where women's issues now are being more brought to the fore, and they're able to discuss their issues in a more conducive environment, so to say. Our most recent and really the thing we're really proud of most recently is on the 10th of March last year, which was the first celebration of the International Day for Women Judges. The International Association of Women Judges Kenyan Chapter was able to launch the first sexual and gender-based violence court here in Kenya. And this is a court that is very specifically tailor-made towards hearing and determining sexual and gender-based violence cases. And we are working towards ensuring that the court is given all the trappings of an SGBV court that will ensure that justice is expedited, that the victims of SGBV are able to be handled in a way that they are not re-traumatized, and that for many of them who are children, who have been defiled, that they can have their cases heard expeditiously, they can be vindicated from the offense that was meted out on them, and that they can then close the chapter of their lives and go on towards rebuilding their lives all over again, instead of their cases having to be mentioned and mentioned and mentioned again. And in many cases, they get tired, they don't come back to court, and we never see them again. Yet they are the victims, those were their cases. So women judges here in Kenya have been doing a lot towards just opening up the courts to more women and to ensuring that they can get their justice. From an institutional perspective, we try and train our members in handling of these cases in court. We expose them to new and happening areas that are going on around the world. Human trafficking is a big matter that has been, has picked up momentum over the last couple of years. We were so happy to partner with the International Association of Women Judges International on a project with the global movement to eliminate modern slavery. To train our members on what human trafficking is all about, how it manifests itself, what can they do as courts to be able to address cases of human trafficking that come to court. Many times we get these cases coming to court and we don't even know that it's a human trafficking case because it looks like something else. It looks like an immigration case, or it could look like a labor case. But in many cases, you find that it's a human trafficking case and the person brought to court is actually a victim of human trafficking. So the training we received has helped us immensely as women judges and magistrates to understand what human trafficking is about and to be able to address issues of human trafficking. So we also, as from the internal or the institutional perspective of women judges, we are opening up mentorship forums to mentor our members. We're trying to find out ways in which they would wish to be mentored, and just to provide them with a hand up in developing their leadership skills, developing their presentation skills, how they can attend interviews and put their best foot forward to ensure that they're able to secure the promotions and the leadership roles for which they find themselves. International conference and regional conferences has been a huge attraction as well. We've just come away from the regional conference in Uganda. We had 35 members from our association attending. The conference was hugely successful, and the members found that they earned so much. They gained so much from the networking, from sharing of best practices, from being able to gain new colleagues from different parts of the world, from being able to see different parts of the country. For many of us, we'd never ever been able to see the Nile River. The Nile River is a huge phenomenon in this part of the world. To be able to see it with our own eyes was something that we can thank the Uganda women judges for, because we were able to participate in that conference. So attending even the international conferences has been a huge benefit for us, and we've learned so much from the conferences. We're looking forward to the conference in Morocco. Once again, we have very big numbers who have signed up to attend, and we are very excitedly preparing ourselves to attend the biannual conference in Morocco.